Ahoy, landlubbers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. And I welcome you to another Saturday stream. It is Saturday, April 29th, 2023. It's almost May. One might even say it's gonna be May. Um, I have mixed feelings. I felt like the first half of April went by very quickly, and then the second half of April went by very slowly. Typically, these days, I'm just annoyed to have to pay rent again. That's a personal problem, being a curmudgeonly old man. Yeah, I am excited to be playing some more Disco Elysium, which I think at this point is, like, well documented I'm bad at, as much as one can be bad at this game. I am it. I'm the way. This is the way. So, last week, I feel like much like the month of April in 2023, this game progresses in an unusual fashion, where things will either happen incredibly slowly or really quickly, and sometimes alternate really rapidly between those two modes. Last week, collectively, I don't think we got that much done, but at the same time, we got important things done, so it feels like we made more progress. We managed to get in to see Evrart something or other. He's the guy who's in charge of the union, who's currently on strike in Revachol, or some district within Revachol. Listen, I'm bad at geography in real life. I'm definitely not better in this game, where the map is largely ill-defined at this point in time. But we went in to see that guy. We made a power play where we refused to sit down or leave his office until he would talk to us on our terms, which was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. But then he sort of pointed out that he basically stole my gun as a detective who has lost his memory and all sense of how the world works. And as a result of that, he, like, blackmailed me and my partner, Kim Kisturagi, into going to open a door somewhere, or else he would, like, let children play with the gun or something. Like, basically, he's not a cool guy, but that's true of basically every character we've met. But we did get him to agree to force his mountain of a man known as Measurehead to get the body we've been trying to perform a field autopsy on for several weeks down from a tree so that we could do that. And then we performed the autopsy, and we came, like, kind of close to breaking the case open, but I failed an important skill check twice after spending an extra skill point to be able to, like, retry it, which is, like, a thing in this game. Don't worry about it if you're new. So, anyway, yeah, thank you, Demolition, for being here and for modding. Welcome. I feel like that covers our broad recap. So, because we didn't quite succeed at the max level at the autopsy, we were given the ability to either end the autopsy and send it off to the coroner to deal with, or to try and find a freezer suitable to store the body in so that we could take a look at the body later. I don't feel great about my odds, but I tell you what, that's the thing I'm gonna try and do. So yeah, I think without any further ado, let's hop into the game. Fridge Hunt is where we left off. This will be of interest to no one, but I'm annoyed today because the game is the correct aspect ratio. And you might think to yourself, Vasco, why would you be annoyed about that? Doesn't that sound like the thing you want? And the correct answer is yes, that is the thing I want. But for like 3 straight weeks, it didn't, for no discernible reason. And my efforts to get it to be the correct aspect ratio didn't quite work. I managed to adjust it in such a way that it wasn't extremely noticeable, but it was still annoying to me. And then today, it's just fine. So I don't know why that is. It's annoying, non-deterministic technology, etc., etc. Okay, so let's go. We were basically suggested 2 leads. We could go talk to the guy who runs the cafeteria in the hostel we're staying at. He might know something about a big freezer for our corpse friend. Or we could talk to Freet with 3 T's, which is a store, like a convenience store, more or less, I think, and ask them about it. I don't know why those are my 2 options, but I can do it. And for those of you who may not have seen this game, our protagonist here, this guy with the sweet amphibian visor. Can I show that off in greater detail? It's good stuff. He lost all his memories. Not just like he doesn't remember his name and whatever, which is true to some extent. We sort of learned it last week. A couple people have insinuated it's Harry Dubois, I'm skeptical. I'm not sure that's accurate, but people keep saying it, so whatever. But not only did he forget his name and who he is and his immediate past, but he also kind of like forgot all knowledge of history and geography and just like the world at large. He kind of just got like full on blank slated. Someone tried turning him off and on again, and then he woke up in an abyss talking to his reptilian brain. And so this game sort of is... It functions off us interacting with all the voices in our head, and they all represent different skills and attributes that can help us to solve puzzles in the world, but they typically don't, because I find that I often have a 42% chance of success, which from my experience is a 0% chance of success. Double click. Can almost afford another book. I mean, depending on your definition of almost, we're reasonably close. We are supposed to find $20 so that we don't have to, I don't know. I guess the alternative to, like, not paying for a night's stay is to still sell Lieutenant Kim's hubcaps, which I really don't want to do. So I feel like before we can buy another book, we probably should take care of that, if possible. Also, I'm supposed to talk to these, like, folks from the union, and I feel like that's going to be unpleasant. But let's do this first.
Can I help you?
I seem to be in need of a fridge.
Yes. For the dead body. You want to put a dead corpse into my fridge, right?
That's right, Slugger. I am not the inspector for kitchen standards, whatever that's called. That word isn't in my head anymore. It's gone. I'm not that guy, so I'm just going to put a corpse in your kitchen. Is that cool? That seem alright?
Flattery is the way.
Oh, thank you, suggestion. I mean, none of these is particularly flattering, but, like, suggestion is my key skill. So, like, I guess I'll go with the one that's most flattering. I hope you have a huge fridge. I want to put my bike in it.
You've heard wrong, and you're not putting a dead body into my fridge.
Damn, I thought the size thing would work.
Yeah, me too, buddy. I hear you. I'm not even gonna ask why. You're just gonna say something mean.
This is a culinary establishment, not a morgue. You don't have to ask me why you can't store a dead body in my kitchen.
Well, I don't have to, because I already told you I'm not gonna do it.
It would only be for...
Lieutenant, you too?
Yeah.
You're asking too? No. The answer is no. I will not turn this place into some kind of macabre circus.
Yeah, that seems more like a Darkest Dungeon thing to do.
Wow. Turn the lieutenant off like he was a busted old radio. He really is the lord of his realm.
Shut up, authority.
Let's go talk to the frit clerk.
Bye, idiot. What is in the kitchen that I can look at? I don't feel like this was here before. Sliced tomatoes. Also the smell of spices. Okay, hang on a second. I don't think I've right-clicked in here. Can I have this? I'll take $1.15. I don't know why it's like loose in a container of salt or something. And is this on the list of things I can, like, redo?
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent...
No, but I want to know what's behind that door. Hey, what's actually on my to-do list? Not the, like, important stuff. Trash container is a stupid check I don't need to redo. It's not scrolling well for some reason. Gaston Martin. That's, like, someone's name. Is that the chef here? Yeah, padlock is also dumb. Oh, I can check Sealang's wares again. Yeah, I don't have a lot of new stuff to do. Are you the guy? Are you the guy?
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging
No,
your
this is
presence.
Gorosei Kubrick. But there was, like, another guy whose, like, name I failed to figure out. Is it one of those guys playing, like, bocce ball? I will ask him both of these questions. I need a fridge to store a corpse.
The man keeps shaking his head. His eyes seem sad. Then he starts swiping crumbs off the countertop.
I don't think he understands, officer. We need to find some other way to make ourselves clear.
I know, Kim, I know. Make stabbing motions at the meat on the cutting board. Yeah, uh-huh. I need to get the corpse, point to Kim, into the fridge, point to Kim. I need to put a dead body in the fridge, point to the fridge. How about I ask him what language he's speaking? Maybe eventually I'll pass a skill check to know that entire language. That seems like a thing that could happen in this game.
He's from Grad, a Koiko.
With the mention of the word Koiko, the cook starts talking excessively, his hands up in the air again. He's happy for some reason.
I need to put a body in the fridge. The fridge?
No. Body no fit fridge. Fridge more.
Body no fit fridge. Fridge small. How do you know? Maybe it's a small body.
No. I know.
For some reason, I gained 5 experience for saying an insane thing to this man who barely speaks whatever this game's internal equivalent of English is.
Listen to him. This is a man who clearly knows about bodies and fridges, and bodies fitting into fridges.
That's troubling, but I guess I know that for the future.
Okay, we have our answer. It won't fit. We need a bigger fridge.
What about the mysterious blue door? What's on the other side of the scary door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Thanks, Composure. Weird of you to chime in, and also super helpful. Oh, there appears to just be, like, some loose money over here. Am I gonna trigger something by just, like, grabbing loose change off the mantle shelf? Jacket coat? No, apparently not. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this. It's already, like, noon, which, like, feels problematic. I spent a lot of time talking to the union boss. Let's go to Freet. This fridge thing is of the utmost importance. There's a lot of T's. I don't know what all this is. Hello, Freet. I'm just gonna call you Freet.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
You have a fridge?
Mm-hmm. Right behind you.
You're right, this is fridge. Wicked. No, I feel like I'm gonna be very to the point on this. I need to store a corpse in your fridge.
You're joking, right?
Nah, this is pretty important. I need to put a corpse in a fridge very soon.
Okay. It wouldn't even fit, you know.
Now that I'm looking at it, maybe a glass-doored fridge in a public grocery store isn't the best option for storing a corpse.
Pity. It would have been so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why this is a question, but I'm sure gonna ask it. Does Freetita have a warehouse in the back of the Whirling in Rags?
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
Come on.
She looks up from under her brow.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
Can you explain the nature of reality, Freetita clerk?
Reality? You mean, what reality? Economic reality, or...?
Nah, like the physical kind? I have some vague grasp of economic reality and that it doesn't favor me and my recycling habits.
I don't know. What about it?
What time is
I
it?
don't know. Look at the clock. It's right behind you on the wall.
The clock shows the time at 10:09. The hands seem to be still. It's apparent the clock doesn't work.
I feel like she would notice that. It feels like a resource for her to tell when her day is done. Arcadius remarks, I just realized your character looks familiar. He's like Jim Carrey as Eggman, but with bigger mustache mutton chop thing going on. Yeah, like a little. I can sort of see that. The coalition. What is this? Someone told me there is one. Could you explain it?
Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article.
Alright, fine. I won't
Oh.
bother with nonsense. Got points for that too for some reason. There's lots of things I can right-click on that I don't
You
know what
see
they are.
several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back.
This reminds me. I bet I could buy this or maybe give like another coat I have to the girl outside the bookstore. It may need to be like this raincoat. I'll keep that in mind. Again, I do kind of need to pay for a place to sleep if I don't want to sell hubcaps, which I
The
don't want to
tin
do.
machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
I will refrain from saying that particular insane thing. What's over here?
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles,
Oh, I see.
nasal sprays, and
Literal
blister
health
packs.
items.
Just ask me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
These are actually much more affordable than I would have assumed, although it's still kind of problematic with my financial situation being what it is.
A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. Your knees are weak. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
This is not a good place for a recovering addict.
Guess not, no.
Good thing you're an unrecovering alcoholic then.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Do you sell any counter vices?
No, Frit only sells legal drugs, like the law says.
I don't think that's what I meant, but I'm honestly not sure. This fridge quest didn't go super good. Can I ask you about
Yes.
fridge? No. What to do about fridge? Would I find a fridge? Gonna go check on bookstore girl. Someone here
Hello
today.
again, sir.
Say, child, you wouldn't happen to know a good fridge, would you?
A fridge?
Yeah, like a big fridge a cop could put a dead body into?
You mean like the ice bear fridge? Man, that's scary.
Maybe. Where's that
Ice
at?
bear fridge?
Yes, like a bear, but white. There's a fridge below the building in the basement, with red glowing eyes. I went back there once, behind the bookstore. Mum doesn't want me to go there anymore. Not that I want to. It was pretty scary.
Sure, scary. You say there's a big fridge down there?
Yes.
Why, hello, nurse. One more thing. How do I get inside the building?
That's a problem. The only way in is through the bookstore, but my mum is pretty strict about not letting anyone in. But I don't know, you're a policeman. Maybe you can convince her somehow. Anyway.
Convincing is theoretically something I'm good at. Okay, bye. Probably shouldn't save immediately over the last save I used. I am the law. I should be able to convince that lady. What's your deal, person? You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. Hello. No ceremonies, just hello.
Hello? Me?
Who are you?
No one. I'm just a working class woman.
That explains the name.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much.
Have a good day.
This was a tremendously useful interlude.
I agree, Kim. Hey, Nego. Good to see you. I hope you get some good sleep. You should check the VOD. I'm gonna try to remember to show off some fancy donuts later. Right now, I got a fridge to find. Hello, lady.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
This sounds less like the name of an actual establishment and more like the name of a fictional bookstore in like a Monty Python sketch. I was told there's a huge fridge in this basement cellar. Could you lead me there? What?
A fridge? No, I don't know anything about a fridge. Aren't you interested in books?
I mean, I am, but I'm more interested in the fridge right now.
For whatever reason, she's lying to you about the fridge. Seems like you have to find your own way to the cellar.
Well, I appreciate that point in drama that we added last time helped us pass that check. I don't know what to do with that information. The donuts are for the special occasion that I found interesting looking donuts at the store. That's really about the size of it. Farewell for now, book peddler. Book peddler, I need your strongest books. Just gonna go over to the curtain.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Okay, real talk, chat. Do we just try to force our way in? Is it realistic to think that there's another way to get into the basement of this bookstore that doesn't involve us using force and playing stupid in some equal percentages? The daughters seem to think no. I seem to think no. Like a real cop. Yeah. You have another plan that involves a jackhammer? Yeah, but I don't think I can afford a jackhammer. Or even to rent a jackhammer, Alcadius. I didn't want to do this if I didn't have a reason, but I kind of do now.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
And it's closed around her pennant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Psychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
What would the man from Heimdall do? He'd definitely throw open the curtain, that's for sure.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Like that there's an option that says, I don't care, you can't stop me. I've heard there's a fridge in there that I need. I'm very serious about this fridge issue.
Everybody suddenly needs something from there. Leave the curtains be. It's what it wants.
I mean, it's just Ford. It's just Ford. I don't care, you can't stop me. You're not my mom.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Listen, I put a bunch of skills in purple. I'm willing to talk this out. I don't think she was going to talk to me if I didn't threaten her, though.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Why are you so uptight about those curtains? This other part of the sentence is a lie. I want your fridge.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
what's the deal with the trinket?
It's just for decoration.
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile.
Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing.
Honestly, in this economy, I would expect that to still be unreasonably priced.
Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Listen, I'm gonna come back here and buy more books when I have money. I just also need your fridge.
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
There's something really interesting to me about how, like, the second I put, like, one skill point into something, it seems like it chimes in a lot more in conversation. But, like, statistically that feels weird because, like, there's no chance that, considering I determined how to dole out skill points at the start of the game, that everything could somehow be balanced to be, like, just below the threshold to, like, chime in conversation.
Take it easy. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing.
How does the curse manifest
The
itself?
curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
The curse is termites? Hello, Conify? Is that correct? It's actually balanced a lot like that. I mean, like, I sort of understand that in the abstract, but, like, I have, like, really low yellow scores. So, like, how could they be balanced such that if I put 1 point in a yellow score, suddenly I get those checks constantly? That just seems odd. I don't know how they could anticipate that exact balance.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
It is possible that you're just not, like, great at business, and also that you have your daughter, like, trying to lure people into the store, which to some people is probably a little off-putting.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Could you, like, explain that more?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy.
But-
And their malicious spirits are still
But wait.
here, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements.
Now, hang on. Isn't that one of those, like, logical fallacies? Like, the thing you're looking for is in the last place you look, by nature of the fact that you stop looking for it when you find it? Like, isn't it kind of true that in most cases, the previous business in a building will have failed, which is why it was available for you to rent the space? There you go, Case. I'm glad you appreciated the termite joke.
There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
That might be your daughter, who you're not treating especially well.
Sounds familiar.
Empathy might work here. I'll give it a shot. Strange, I feel unwanted too. Yeah, same. Same as you, same. We all same.
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
Have you sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
Okay.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
Is the pennant part of it too?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
That's my bad. I should have naturally assumed
There are
that.
numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Would you like me to take the case? I could definitely investigate in exchange for you letting me put a dead man in your big fridge. Which sounds even more insane when I say it out loud.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
Psychic arts? Sounds right down our alley. Tell her there's a dead body involved. That will make it easier.
Drama check, huh? Okay, I object to the characterization about my parenting advice. But I honestly don't remember exactly what I said, so that's fine. I don't know what I did to qualify as a master of psychic arts, but I guess it's good that I am one. Now, it'd be really good if I could pass this check. The concern that I have is that I can't use skill points to retry it, by nature of I've already leveled up drama. But it's another case where I think the only thing to do is try. It's not 42%. No whammies.
Time to fire up the old lie machine.
It's disappointing. I really want that fridge. I'm a renowned private investigator, paragon of law, and a specialist in all things criminal. I mean, true. That's true.
And I am his private partner, John Shaw. Together we run the preeminent postal surveillance firm in Revachol.
But wait, there's more.
Once we've caught our client's spouse in flagrante delicto, we blackmail them and pocket the money ourselves, because that's what private investigators do. Now, I see that you are a married woman.
Not where I thought this was going at all, but go on.
What nonsense are you two going on about? This is not relevant at all. And besides, my husband would never do such a thing. We are proper people.
Yeah, whatever. I like saying words. The point is that we take odd cases.
How can I believe you after all that foolishness?
Our sincere apologies, ma'am. No more nonsense. We are offering to assist you with your troubles. Pro bono.
Despite his apologies, there's a twinge of amusement in the lieutenant's eyes. One sounds like something that a con artist would say. 2 is clearly intimidation. I think 3 is my best bet because she wants... She clearly believes in the negative energy and the curse. So for us to take the empathetic approach that it's maybe the only way to save the business, I feel like it's the best chance to, like, resonate with her.
That's right. When not spying on the love affairs of the ultra-rich, we solve unusual mysteries by the low reload.
What better way than to ask us?
Oh my god! Will you stop with that incessant yammering? It's too much. If you wanted the key to the back door, you could have just asked for it.
I feel like I've been doing that for like 27 in-game minutes. Can we have the key?
Absolutely not.
But I have this dead body.
What? Oh my god! A victim of the curse? The curse has started killing people? It's killing now?
Absolutely. The curse is so bad that people are dying. You need to let me investigate, please.
You're right. It's worse than I imagined. We definitely have to contain it now.
Yes, this is your chance. This is your chance. Only a paradetective can solve this case. This definitely softened her up.
But I literally don't understand. Isn't the thing I just did exactly the type of dialogue that would allow me to redo this check? Isn't the way the game presents that information, is that not, like, exactly the thing I should have done? I have curse questions?
Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
Why didn't you tell me about the curse?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
True, that's
Such
true.
wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Okay, I ran out
The
of
woman
questions.
before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
So annoyed about my complete inability to pass skill checks. It's very, very annoying. Like, this is, like, such an interesting thing to do, and, like, I just can't do it. Also, I find myself
Yes?
mildly annoyed that I can never, like, ask... Like, I feel like this is a type of game where I want to be able to, like, just go to Kim and be like, I don't know what to do now. And, like, it's also structured in a way where I wouldn't always expect that to be a meaningful option. But 0% of the time is, like, a pretty low number, in my opinion. Like, I don't know what else I could do to get her to cooperate. Can I talk to the daughter now that I've talked to her? And maybe get more information to, like, get the game to do the thing?
Hello again, sir.
I mean, okay. Yes. Confi, I understand that I'm not supposed to pass everything, but you have not been here since the start. I've passed, like, 4 skill checks. I've failed, like, almost all skill checks of every kind. There's definitely a line to be drawn between, like, buck up, you won't pass every skill check, and, oh my god, is it possible to pass skill checks? And yes, I understand I have the ability to force the curtain open. I feel like that's gonna, like, be bad. I, at the very least, wanted to see if there was some immediate option to get her to try. It's just, like, it's also, like, annoying the game sort of frames it like, all you need to do is, like, perform some task or have a conversation that will allow you to reset a white check. And I did exactly that, and the game's like, you screwed up. I'm like, no, I did what you told me. It's like, nah, somehow this is your fault. I mean, I really don't want to wait longer for the like, I need to put the body in the fridge. You're sure you're not going to cooperate?
Hello
Because,
again,
like...
esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biography.
Okay, well, goodbye to your curtain. It's ruined.
The curtains, tattered with age and... You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you, you're unleashing forces beyond your understanding.
Yeah, well, you didn't want to be cooperative, like every other person in this game, and I'm sick of it. Reveal it. This looks like the door from, like, Silent Hill: The Room. No sane person would ever put their head in such a machine. That's probably true. Vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Looking at the haircut threatens your masculinity.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. What if you just break it down?
It's 42%, which is the only number that I'm certain I won't pass a check for. Maybe I should break it down, but not before I strategize.
That's right. Take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground and a proper posture if you want to succeed.
Hey, Sniper Justin, you have arrived. Welcome. Hello. I'm gonna check my posture, I'm gonna check my surroundings, and then I'm gonna break this door in.
Steady breathing. Solid core. You've got this. With one shoulder forward, you're ready to smash into the door like a battering ram.
I just want to point out for the record that this is a window in time where she could still provide me the key such that I don't break her door, but I will break her door. Checks
The
around.
room is dimly lit and littered with old barbershop rubbish, but the path to the door is clear.
What about that door, though?
It's made of a solid block of wood, but it has stood there for ages. The hinges are old and coated with a carmine layer of rust. It should be doable.
Okay, I've completed my preparation such that my percentage of succeeding at this is greater than 42. Please break the door. I swear to God. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was gonna happen.
Ow, shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
Please don't cry. Please don't cry. I don't want anyone to see me cry.
Are you alright? This looked pretty intense and painful, I must admit.
What is going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back door?
Yes. Very, very yes.
I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't tempt the spirits, or you'll damage the holy wards on the door.
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still locked and closed, covered.
Listen, I am going to break the door. Do you want to give me the key? I presume this is your last
You've
opportunity.
hurt yourself now. I told you not to mess around back there. What are you even trying to accomplish, you fool?
I'm trying to find a way to the fridge downstairs. It's important. I've said this like 6 times.
You're only making things worse. Stop it. Be
Okay. Nope. I'm definitely spending a skill point on this. For sure. Not close. What do I need? It's physical instrument again, right? How did I fail a physical instrument check? I've got like 9 points in this garbage.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands
Yeah, it's
before
pain
you,
threshold.
covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little
No,
oddly
no.
shaped
Pain threshold
trinkets
different.
and
Pain
charms.
threshold.
It appears to be
Level up pain threshold. Accept and close. That's a good point. I haven't checked my wardrobe in a minute. I don't think I do, but I should check because I don't specifically remember. This is logic, conceptualization, reaction speed, visual calculus, half-life. Nah, I do not. Okay, it seems to have saved that level up, which is not how I would have liked that menu to work, but it's fine
a
because it
heavy
doesn't
door
matter.
with a missing handle stands before you.
Okay,
covered in
72%.
dozens, if not
Now I'm just
hundreds,
gonna say it
of
right
little
now.
oddly shaped
I'm gonna
trinkets
get
and
really mad if
charms.
I fail
It
this.
appears to be locked.
Okay, that's a pretty annoying outcome.
You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the door frame. It's going to take one more try to break through to
Are you
the
kidding
other
me?
side. But you've done it.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you?
I'm obviously not saying anything. I genuinely expected it to hit me again after that, to be honest with you. What do you want? What do you
What
even
is
want?
this place?
I don't know, Kim, but my head hurts really
We
bad.
didn't have to ram the door down, you know? No one's been here for ages.
I disagree. The lady wouldn't give me the key.
I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
That's a good call. I would not have remembered that.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark.
It doesn't actually look that
An
dark in
eerie
here.
feeling rises in your chest.
Let's just keep going. I'm sure it's a regular abandoned house that isn't mysterious.
Sounds good.
So I need items? No, tools, right? Ooh, fun. Sand is dripping from the punch bag. That seems unlikely after this amount of time. She's not gonna be happy when I leave the store. I'm gonna be extra mad if this is an impediment to me buying more books from the store. And, like, no one even warned me about it. Well, I guess I gotta go find the pawn shop. This'll let me live another day. Poster says, Sitius Fortis. The rest is worn off. Worn out wall bars do not look safe.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them.
Oh no.
Why does it feel so familiar?
My head hurts. Am I a weightlifter?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. A memory from another life, when you were young and fit.
Okay, so question. If I take my medicine, will I not continue to receive this punishment? Or is it just the game's way of acknowledging that I failed the door check? Because I could see that going either way. Because this is not pain threshold, this is physical instrument. If it was a pain threshold check, in theory, just healing should improve it. It might help. I feel like it is unlikely to help. But I do feel like I kind of want to heal anyway. This feels like it would be a pretty good check to pass.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog.
Yeah,
for
it's
master.
unclear to me if, like, healing twice... If, like, having full health would heal it. I assume not. But I also assume that doing this and failing will result in more physical damage. But, like... I just wanna be clear about something. People love to come into chat and tell me, like, it's fun to fail checks. And in concept, I don't disagree with that. My experience with the game so far has mostly been that failing checks is as bad as I would expect it to be, and doesn't actually yield to interesting things. I just take lots of damage and then get mad about it. I'm not saying that that's always going to be the case. I'm not saying that should never be the case. But I am saying that it is annoying that I fail all the time, and, like, interesting things don't usually happen as a result. You're right, I should probably save, at least in theory. I mean, I've already committed, like, all the resources, so, like, it's just a measure against, like, automatically game over from, like, winging myself in the head with a 60-kilogram barbell.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
I passed a 42%er!
Conjuring up an inhuman amount of strength, you raise the barbell up in the air. Your biceps tremble, but you're a savage. This is a children's game.
I just barely passed that, too. I think I'm the kind of idiot who would shout, "I am a true champion."
A warm wave of accomplishment washes lurches over your head as you drop the barbell to the floor. For a moment, it feels like you're strong enough to succeed at anything you ever set your mind to.
You know, I'll be honest, that's like legitimately a pretty good reward for that. I still find myself a touch disappointed because I was kind of hoping it might like increase a skill cap for like a physical thing to like perform a feat of strength like that.
But you're still in a ghost house. What if someone heard this? What if they know you're here?
I mean, if they're like a ghost who hates me, they probably already know that.
Good technique.
Okay, let's leave. Oh, hang on, I'm having a thought. It smells like leather and sweat. Yeah, I have that thought a lot. It was blocked by old window panes and debris. Right click, we're gonna sell some stuff, man. It's so horrible here. A large demi-john full of strange liquid? I beg your pardon? Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Anyone ever stop to think that part of the reason why businesses fail here is that they're paying for, like, an incredible amount of, like, square footage that they're not using and is completely in disrepair? Anyone think about that? Airship rotors covered in spider webs that remind you of blades. Like the movies with the vampires? $3.12. Don't mind if I do. Naked yellow torso. Can I reach that from here? Blue velvet that I can't sell. Go over there. Be full of money or something.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
It's a weird way of putting that. A cube-shaped heart. It just means that the thing that functions is cube-shaped, right? Not that there's somehow, like, a person's heart that is cube-shaped.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside. But we are looking for a fridge, and we are pressed for time, so...
Excellent point. We'll mess with this later.
On the other hand, it's not that I'm not interested in abandoned radio computers.
We'll be back. It's fine. I do need that fridge. That's an excellent point. Let's go across a notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. Interesting. There's like lots of stuff to look at, but let me go. See, I don't think that's correct. Somebody says you seem to view this game through the lens of points, skill points, health points, etc., but none of those really matter. I mean, like, I literally was in a position to not succeed at a volition check because I had just enough points to survive, which is what I had initially thought was true, and then the game demonstrated was false. Now, I realize that's a pretty specific case, but at the same time, it's relevant. Like, that volition check ended up being really important to what I'm trying to do in the game because it helped me not sell Lieutenant Kim's hubcaps. And, like, that's important to me. But, like, in order to do that, I had to, like, heal, like, 2 or 3 morale points in order to have, like, a reasonable chance of passing that check. And that's with, like, pretty high base volition. I mean, like, keep in mind that we're currently down multiple points. It's, like, normally at 6. But again, I would also argue that, like, based on the experience I've had so far, which again is limited, it's the experience I've had playing this game for a handful of weeks now, there have been very few rewards, whether literal or abstract, to failing checks. I mean, that's a valid point. You're not supposed to be a superhero. But, like, never being able to do the thing in the game that you want is also frustrating. I mean, I'm definitely coming at this from, like, an extreme point of view, and that, I think, is colored by the fact that I have failed, like, almost every check I've wanted. I've passed, like, 3 of consequence without having to reattempt something. And I just, maybe it's me, I find that kind of frustrating. I just, like, again, I feel like I would not be as invested in the opposite if I felt like more of the failed checks were either completely inconsequential or offered, like, an interesting alternative to the thing I was trying to do. But, like, I have just gotten injured a lot is kind of the main thing that's happened. Which is, like, sometimes funny, and it's definitely not funny all the time. Ooh, money and medicine. Fridge. That is a scary fridge. It is, however, pretty rad.
Terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red.
If only on day 2, you'll probably unlock all the checks you currently have locked by playing the game. Nothing in the game has made that clear, frankly. Like, I've had a couple of checks unlock. I've had some checks that felt like they should unlock, not unlock. It's just not consistent. Like, ultimately, and I honestly really appreciate this discussion, Kung-Fi. And please tell me if I'm mispronouncing your name. Like, probably my biggest core problem with the game. I enjoy it a lot. It's been recommended to me highly. There's a lot of great things to say about it. Even from my limited experience. But I just personally don't feel like the game makes some of this stuff clear that compensates for that frustration. Like, if it's truly the case that, like, a really high percentage of skill checks will just unlock on their own, that would be great information to have. It kind of vaguely says stuff like having specific conversations or putting skill points in stuff will unlock it. And so, like, that makes enough sense to me. But then when I have an experience, like, trying to convince the lady to let me in the back room, and I do something that feels like it meets that criteria and it doesn't do anything, then I become confused again. So, like, I'm not trying to say it's a bad game. I'm mostly just trying to say that, like, I'm still truly trying to understand how the game works. And it hasn't made some of this stuff that feels important clear to me, and that has caused me frustration. That's mainly the point I've tried to make. I'm gonna open the door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you.
How is it
You
working?
hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator.
I thought for sure when we walked back here and Kim was like, there's no reason for there to be power back here, that meant that the fridge wasn't gonna work, but here we
The
are.
lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
This is a really spooky refrigerator. I'm not gonna chastise him for that.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
This is clearly the fridge. It's big enough for, like, 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can.
I'm pretty sure that ship sailed a while ago.
Shall we go and get the body, then?
Yes.
I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
It's like, we say all this as though the lady... I mean, I guess we are the police, right? Like, who's she gonna call? Ghostbusters? Like, I feel like there should be some way she can stop us, but I guess this could be its own commentary on, like, police corruption. Oh, good. I'm glad that the encoder's having a bad time, for reasons that are unclear to me.
The two of you, easily.
Let's do this.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
It's weirdly, needlessly loud.
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
I just have to assume he's being sarcastic.
You've definitely earned a drink after this. Perhaps even some pagan rites.
We need to perform pagan rites. Did I pay 20 real for tonight's hotel stay? No, I haven't. I still need to, like, sell that medicine ball or something. I honestly still don't know where the pawn shop is. That's been alluded to a couple of times. I'm not sure I believe you.
Of course you don't. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This does not leave this room.
He means it. He doesn't want to be the ice bear cop.
I feel like the thing he would want me to say is we did the best with the means at our disposal. But I feel like the thing that I should say is, I'm not proud, but we did find a fridge. Didn't even explore the map yet. I mean, I feel like I did. I feel like... Again, I feel like this game is very stingy with its information. I walked as far in several directions as I could immediately find a way to do, and feel like I was blocked in. And yet people are telling me that there's a pawn shop I haven't found. And I have no idea where it is. And again, like, I'm really not trying to be like, the game is bad. I'm just trying to be like, I wish the game would, like, not be hostile to me trying to play it, which is what it feels like. This is really problematic. Pawn shop is to the left of ceiling? There's anything to the left of ceiling? Okay, hold on for a second. So, like, what? Like, what's OBS's problem? Like, why are you, like, having a fit? It's something about this room in the game. If I stay on this screen long enough... No, I got mad again. What? Like, what's wrong? Nothing has changed. No settings have changed. This is normally fine. I don't... This is very annoying. I'm having a bad time. I don't know what to do here. I don't really want to restart the stream. I'm not even entirely sure I would expect that to help. Let's try to get out of this room first. And then see if it calms down. Where's my cursor? Go back in the thing. We found a
As impressive as the fridge is, this is a small victory, among numerous defeats.
That's all I'm saying. Literally, that's all I'm saying. However, at the same time, I would argue a trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection, under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
I'm not intending to save scum this, but I'm still gonna save. I hate that I have to, like, leave the conversation to do it. Yeah, honestly, probably is a reasonable quick save attempt, even though it's now definitely slow save.
The bear's eyes are still glowing
Do it.
red. You touch the dead man's body. His skin is cold, light blue and silvery in the light of the fridge. You still have no idea where to begin, or what to even do with him.
I'm just gonna add this to the list of I just took damage. Nothing interesting happened, I just took damage.
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then.
Oh, yeah, let me take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Sweet, I have some free magnets, I guess. Look at the ice
A
cream
friendly
wrappers.
cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge or the decomposing body in it. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. Even under this stench, you can feel it.
See, I feel like that would be my electrochemical trigger, not every liquor bottle in the world. Why do you think this giant bear-shaped fridge exists?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper
I
carnivore?
know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
The electricity bill must be catastrophic. On the other hand, it did help us with a certain corpse situation.
Lucky us.
Alright, I guess it's time to leave. Is there, like, free stuff? That seems like a whole hatch I don't want to deal with. Did I actually even get information about what the note said? No, right? Glenn Howell's in the coal chute above. A handwritten note from inside the bear. It bears marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets.
The
Interact.
note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct
We're
is
already here, I'm
still
gonna read it.
active. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe.
The off-site copy is still here? Obviously, the ginger kid is terrible Kuno, or Kuno's friend. They both have red hair? I don't care enough to remember.
You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Swaff.
Where do you think the ice cream maker is?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Yeah, no, like, clearly the streaming software is, like, having an absolute fit for no discernible reason. So, like, obviously that is going to cause an issue. And, you may recall I stated I wanted to complete this room and then see if I could fix it. That's what I was referring to. Specifically that. I'm going to have so much fun editing this. Let me tell you how much fun I'm going to have editing this. 42% fun. Alright, I think for at least the time being, it's not broken anymore. It's extremely difficult to tell. It's all going incredibly well. Alright, well, we've fridged the body. I assume when we try to leave this place, the lady's gonna put a hex on us. And that's probably gonna, like, negatively impact at least one of my stats. But let me check this conspiracy board, like, super quick.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient.
I feel like that shouldn't be general narrator voice. I feel like that's Shivers or something.
A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric.
Go on.
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6. UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Do these potentially have something to do with the drug smuggling that we looked into a little bit?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
It feels a little weird to me that I don't have some option to suggest that it might be the drug smuggling traffic routes. So we know that they had like a ton of radio frequencies in that truck that we investigated. I feel like if I say it's the curse, he's just gonna get mad at me. Is it
I
medical?
think so. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
Who's the game master?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people.
Who's playing said game?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like.
So I guess if that is true, then, like, maybe not the drug
A
smuggling?
list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. All of this is gone, left unrealized.
My god. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Why do you say that? That seems like a lot of context to get with no context.
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else? Let me squint at it.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
I guess that explains the best RPG ever book or whatever we got that flag on. What about this chalkboard with like an elf or something on it?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Inspect the drawing.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins.
Obviously.
You make out autumnal candle welkins,
Yeah.
casting wax-based magic.
Just like that guy from One Piece. Who's the one who has the wax powers? Is that Bon Clay?
Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
He is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist.
For God's sake.
The note says, all
For God's sake.
non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
Now, I feel like this game is intending to make a statement on racism simply by having racism be extremely prevalent and, like, almost casual in a way to a clearly destructive degree. I'm extremely tired of it, to be honest with you, but we'll deal with it. That's whatever. At least this is fictional fantasy racism. That's better.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
One of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
Yeah, right? Who are they and who drew them? I have many
This
questions.
looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Let's move
Just
on
look
from
at those
that.
details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone.
Inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones.
That's weird.
Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Take a look at that schedule real quick.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money.
We're in 51, right? That actually makes this more recent than I would have guessed.
It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal.
But what happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
That's like my normal calendar.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
So, I guess that suggests that, like, Kuno was having some negative impact on this project by trying to, like, mess with their stuff. I doubt he was solely responsible for it failing, but, like, that's why someone had to hide a copy of something in an ice cream maker, which we have yet to find.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black."
Right.
Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom.
Thanks, Shivers.
Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise."
Guess I could try to mess with the computer now. Before I do that, let me, spin around. It's like sort of like a horseshoe of garbage here. I took this path. Is that the door I came from? I think it is. Sweet, some more money. Still not quite enough in its own right to pay for the night. Skis with slipstream printed on. More slipstream stuff. What's in this box? Oh, this is the ice cream maker. Production schedule filament memory. This is worth 50? Is it just a sellable item? There's no, like... Cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile. Its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads production schedule. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Okay, reading the item explains the item. Fair enough, fair enough. So... Do I need to equip it? How does filament work? Computer!
The dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame. Forgotten.
Turn on machine.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
It's making fun spooky noises, but I think my computer's gonna explode again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to May because it's not April. April's been a horrible month. I hate April. Look inside.
It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Put the thing in the thing.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of
Lay.
fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Not what I was expecting.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1.
Give it a minute and see if it continues to be horrible. It looks not good. Super thrilled. Good afternoon, Fortress accident?
Please
Okay.
repeat. Is this the production schedule?
I genuinely don't know if robot or person.
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. Now please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
I don't feel like I need to call her paranoid. How did you know where I am?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian Repeater Station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
On an island on the River Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark. Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by yourself?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
That's why she does this.
Now please tell me the reason for your call, Fortress Accident.
What is the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
The glowing thing?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
It's labeled such, yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
You should ask her for a hint.
Is it my birthday?
No.
Can you give me a hint?
Still no.
I don't currently know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
I might as well ask why she's calling me Fortress Accident.
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
That would not have been my guess. Do you know anything else about Fortress Accident?
One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
And, what's the deal with this call-in game?
Any other questions?
Okay, bye.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
I'm gonna take that back. If I find a password, I'll try it again, but if I need to sell something at some point, I might as well just have this on my person, I think.
The filament slides out of its glowing nest.
Maybe I should have pressed print first, but I can't use it, right? Hang on.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
I mean, ostensibly, it's a failed business. I wouldn't ask what they were making. They were a service for this game. But, like, I don't know, some part of me still thinks all the radio frequencies might have something to do with the drug situation.
Yes, that is the question.
Takes a step back,
It
steepling
looks
his
like
hands.
one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
Has anyone ever done that before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Rude.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
How do you think they were gonna do it?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked.
So it's a role-playing game.
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
The world is so cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. Okay, let's keep moving.
Until I get that password, I don't think I could do anything. It might have something to do with that hatch in the other room, but like, my computer wants to die. And that's making me want to die. So I don't think I'm going back in that room unless I absolutely have to. Just I don't understand. Just don't understand. I'm very upset. Is this where we came from? This just went up and around? No, this is a new direction. What direction did I come from?
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows.
Well,
It
for
covers
one, I'm
half
pretty
the
sure
room,
the audio and visual have
blocking the way
desynced again,
into a
Demolition,
colossal
and I'm much less
industrial
concerned about
chimney.
myself as I am from my mental state of having to restart the stream again, because I'm going to lose my mind if that happens. So I wouldn't say I'm doing well, but I appreciate the positive sentiment. Knock on the curtain.
What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens.
Well, what if I try harder?
Still nothing.
Well,
No
like,
one's home.
like a third time?
Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things?
There's no option that simply says no.
Thanks. In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's...
Bent metal. Broken glass. Your path lies strewn with the broken forms of everyday objects.
I would really like for you to tell me that I'm about to have a thought that makes me into some sort of destructive force.
You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate matter.
Yeah, man, I tear stuff up.
Kudos.
Temporary research bonus. -2 pain threshold. That sounds really bad. Does that kill me? Does it kill me to do that? Take a look at your hand. See how bruised they are? See those little scars? This is Exhibit A. The material world is holding you back. Containers, mailboxes, doors, chairs, they're your enemies. Always have been. Atoms themselves are in on the conspiracy, forming shapes and structures that you hate. You are energy stuck in a body. You are a spirit trapped in matter. Break free. Break free. Beat up the lamppost. Let it know how much objects suck. So, hold on. It won't? That's fine. No, hold on. That's cool. F5? Okay. I really don't like the autosave always makes the computer angry. I mean, I'll try it, and then if I die, I'll just reload. That's fine. This sounds like something I want. I would like to internalize this. Do I have to scroll to the bottom to make it? Hello? Oh my god, new slot! I didn't realize there were limited slots. Oh. So... Is there... Oh, I have empty slots. Okay. Oh, I can spend a... Oh. That's... How to unlock? Is it just spend a level up point? Is that... Yeah, use a skill point. I think that's worth it. I think that's probably worth it. I leveled up relatively recently. This seems beneficial. I don't think I currently want to get rid of anything. I have not thus far been impressed with Mazovian socioeconomics, but I feel like I'm inclined to leave it for now. I don't know if this is a bad idea, but I would like to be able to break stuff with impunity. Internalize. Research time 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. Leave this place. See, that was like a legitimate... That was a legitimate, I've filled enough time something interesting happened. I haven't seen a lot of those. I haven't not seen any, but like, that one actually brought me some joy as opposed to just taking infinite damage doing nothing, which has mostly been my experience so far. Eventually I can punch through that, I presume. Because I haven't played a lot yet. I mean, like, kind of. Like, I'm not going to try and argue that exactly. But I will say that, again, I just personally feel as though, like, the game doesn't make the scope of that clear. How on earth did I get in here? I just genuinely can't remember at this point. Was it? Oh, I was over here. Okay, yeah, that's right. This is a dead end that I can... Yeah, okay. So... Oh no, that's the ice cream machine. So that's like everything, I think? I think that's everything in here for now. I really don't think Book Lady is gonna like us. It's not just the ice cream machine. No, I'm mostly just like as a frame of reference. But I didn't leave anything in there, did I? There's something there? Alright. I'll go look at it and hope it doesn't crash the computer. Honestly, I don't normally have problems to this degree. My computer's being, like, hyper disagreeable today, and it's making me really mad. I left everything? I mean, I don't want to be, like, contrarian for the sake of it. I get the impression that that's not true. Feels as though... in the basement. But the basement's in the curse room that causes my computer to explode! I said I didn't want to go in there if I didn't have to. Like, I would love to explore that. I also don't want to have to restart the stream again. Like, I'm pretty sure it's already broken. No, that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of mad, so I'm, like, being kind of a jerk. I apologize. Oh, in order to leave, I click on the door to rezone it? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, she's gonna, like, not like me. It's gonna be a problem, right?
You
I'm still holding a flashlight.
broke down the back door.
I did!
The wards. The door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop.
I felt like that was necessary.
I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no escape.
I can tell you what's there.
Okay, I'm willing to listen. We are set on the path. There's little else to do.
But before we go on, did you encounter the malignant entity?
No. Is that actually true, Kronos? I feel like you're lying to me. That she'll like me if I buy another book. She didn't seem to like me any better for buying the first book. I mean, I don't think I saw the entity. Unless the entity is like the computer. Files were in the computer.
Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably.
In the
I've
chimney?
suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her.
Chimneys aren't big enough for anyone to live in there. Do you mean the chimney that's behind the curtain I tried to punch? It didn't open when I punched it. But I had a thought. I might have to come back later.
Yes, I've heard that she's barricaded herself inside. It's connected to the central furnace in the basement. You should go and find it. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
Is the curse that my computer will stop working if I go in the room? Is that the real curse at the end of the day? Not the friends we made along the way, of course. Fine, we'll go in the basement. I could restart the stream once. I mean, like, tone down, like, the two most obvious, like, visual stressors on the game. It seems like the main thing it did is made slightly dark areas more tolerable, and regular dark areas about the same. Doesn't feel like that's a huge downgrade, to be honest with you. Should go all the way over there. Go all the way over there instead. I think I double-clicked. Well, you do not seem to agree with me? Please don't break more, please. Please don't break more, please. Please.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Why would I smear my hands with coal? I'm not objecting to the stupid idea, but would you explain to me why I would want to do that? What is this? Is it a furnace?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Did the dead rats result from a recent fire? Look in the
It's
furnace.
dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying, or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
I hear the murderer of the hanged man talking. I hear voices. That's true.
Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
All I can say is, if I fail this check, I'm definitely going to be mad about it. Actually, let me...
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace.
I'm gonna yell to the dark entity.
Black.
That seems like a perfectly good and normal thing to do.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
you've awakened the entity.
Hello, I am the law.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Let's leave the bad room. It's cursed in here. Sorry, I keep looking at the computer. I'm just really trying to make sure it's not exploding. Is it through here now? Yeah, through here now, right? Uh-huh. Weird. Trays full of dice. Wait, does that mean they're still working on the game? Candy dispenser's been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. In other words, a small quantity of dice.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools. Emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
I don't know what that means.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
It seems like a loaded question.
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now.
What do you mean by Milius?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
So they are still running the game. That's weird.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages.
That sounds good.
But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Now, here's a question I have, logistically speaking. If she didn't hear me knocking, how does she know that someone knocked? I didn't say that I knocked. What about the dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
I was actually looking for something else. Something called answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
How expensive are dice? I'm very strapped for money, as you know, Sarah.
This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
Let's start with the most important thing. I feel like this window points vaguely in the direction of the courtyard, but I'm not inclined to think that she actually saw what happened.
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
How does she get food in here? We haven't, like, properly seen, like, a back exit. It seems very plausible one could exist. But, like, she's not paying rent to the bookstore. The bookstore lady doesn't seem to be aware that there's, like, a person living here and thinks she's a ghost. So, like, logistically, how does that work? Is there, like, a toilet in this dice room? I have some questions. What do you mean by daily ruckus? How often is murder?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
That feels to conflict with what Suggestion said earlier, that she would answer questions freely and openly.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
So you never took your eyes off your work?
I might have, but in this case,
all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
How'd you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you also game?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looked at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls, even though they've been repainted. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal black soot.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Hang on now, the other rooms?
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
I've heard this place is cursed. You've heard that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
I do kind of want to mention Plaisance's name to see if she reacts to that. She sent me and believes that there's evil here.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's what I'm here to investigate. For some reason, I'm inclined to say 1 and be like, I mean, she's got her daughter not going to school so she can approach strangers and tell them to go to the bookstore with the extremely weird name.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
The Whirling in Rags isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off and the customers have trouble paying bills. So I hear. From a friend.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
I have no idea what to say in response to this. I'm honestly not sure what I'm getting at with this conversation, so I don't know if I'm trying to flatter her or scare her off. I think I'm supposed to be trying to scare her off. I think. Which, if that was true, it would probably be 1 or 3 would be the correct option here. Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it, which I think she would just dismiss out of hand. Or the curse will get to you, no doubt about it.
Is that what you think, officer? That the curse is real?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow eyes very mysteriously. I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Sure. Honestly, I'm still not sure this world is a puzzling place. I mean, it's true that we remember nothing. I mean, I mostly just want to do one by nature of the fact that I get to narrow my eyes, like, very mysteriously. I don't imagine that she'll react well to this or that it helps me in any way.
So I'm the grand dragon in the cave. Might I ask what supports this claim?
Continue to squint very suspiciously. I don't find any of these to be particularly compelling, so I'm just gonna keep squinting.
Ethereal? Thank you, but I think it's just the lighting.
No, it's the troubled color of her energetic vibrations.
I heard from a reliable source that your energetic vibrations are weird. Sense tragedies in your past, darling.
Of course you do. Show me a person in Martinez who doesn't have any tragedies in their past, and then we'll talk. If you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know.
We're back to Plaisance. Okay.
Plaisance needs to hear about this. Perhaps if you combine your psychic energies, you will make sense of the situation.
I just know if I tried this Shivers check, I'm gonna take emotional damage or something. Let me first ask about the other tenants. Why is everyone gone?
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Why do I suddenly seem to have a great deal of intuition about, like, what exists here? Are these just, like, the businesses that were on that, I don't even know what to call that. That, like, front door buzzard thing that we checked outside, like, a week or two ago? Hair salon.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
Okay, that's entirely fair. That's
You
true.
wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you.
I don't really have opinions on hairstyles. I am not a good authority for a good hairstyle for a man.
Me neither. I just want it off my face.
What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Who's that guy you
A
said?
kind man, from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe Kuno needs a community-centric boxing club. Not to help him, so people, like, punch him more.
Kuno. Who's Kuno?
He's kind of a little gremlin who defiles dead bodies.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet for the
I
moment.
think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
That's true. That's true. How'd that all work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
Note to self, check the punching bag.
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
Why are the windows broken?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff medias. Who would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Very cool about the debris. What's the snuff milieu? He says, knowing the answer to this.
It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Yeah, cool. Very cool about that,
What
too.
does she mean, to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-Roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying
You
around.
mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
From the punching bag.
But what drugs exactly?
No, I'm
Anything else?
creepy mannequins?
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect right activists.
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
I feel like on some level I'm supposed to like be glad about insect rights to help with my investigation of the superbug, the phasmid of Isla Nublar or whatever. I feel like I definitely actually just want to say making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea. I honestly don't think I was paying much attention to how she pronounced it. I thought that word was pronounced like atelier, which I would attempt to write out as tell. Yay! Yes,
At least
don't
it
make
had
bug
some
clothes.
spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
That's weird.
Anything else?
What's with all the skis and blades?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile? Why? Did she do that?
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
What do they say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant
Men
behind
like
me.
that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
Strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes for some remnant of a memory
She
lights up.
liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then.
I would assume.
Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
Explain what that
The
means.
usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What happened?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them behind her curtain on a cigarette
They
break.
seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
They look like a pretty impressive project.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic. and to show up to work on time.
Weird that those are conflated. He says Googled it. The American and British version say it like atelier. Really? No, atelier. Atelier is close to what I would have said.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important.
Thanks,
Showing
Authority.
up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
I would have supported them.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
She has a pair of dice on the table. One stops near the edge of the
The
metallic dice.
result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Okay, now all of a sudden I'm convinced that she is a cursed ghost witch.
The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
Found a weird bear.
Oh boy, the fabled Revo Show ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer on hands and knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story. That's not correct. That isn't how that would
The
look.
place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Tell me about the other ideas.
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
The video game convention model.
And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
And now they work at Frittata?
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
Thanks, reaction speed. I knew you had my back. Katie says, personally, going to work on time isn't too hard, but finding the will to go to work is definitely the struggle. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that conversation kind of equated those, but like, yeah, I think you're right about that. It's more important to get yourself to go at all. If you're willing to do that, being on time isn't like considerably much more difficult. It's weird how many of these conversations are like, I do or don't have an opinion on that. Yeah, my first thought is Freet, so I'll just, yeah. She's not super friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravashow ICT. And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing her thumbs into her temples, like trying to suppress a headache. No, like, I need you to be more specific, because the bear seems like a great idea, and I genuinely don't know what you're talking about.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator.
False?
To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted.
Okay, so, like, that's a bigger problem.
Eventually, Ravashow ICT lost the price war to its rival, Class A 5000. Class A 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
God solidly, the market doing its job. Well, that's not very socialist of me. I'm sure the bear was doing its best. The bear was scary. Every time I saw it, I felt scared, like it could become alive any moment. No, I think the bear was trying pretty hard.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
Why'd he say that?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
What now?
Megatherion, a mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast? Is that like the mega digivolved form of some sort of bear Digimon?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise and noble beast.
Shut up,
guiding you
electrochemistry.
toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs. The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
Not now, you beast. I don't do drugs.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
It almost seems sad to finish the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air.
Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Oh, I found the building's intercom, but it's not working. Do you actually have information about that?
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me.
I might have. I honestly don't know.
I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
So you're telling me the doorbell with the empty name card was yours? In that case, I think I did literally try you.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
He says, I found recently that the only person who actually shows up to work on time... Oh, that I'm the only person who shows up for work on time aside from my boss. Show up at 7 a.m. One person doesn't show up till 7:15 and another 8:15. Cool. Boss just doesn't do anything about it. So you're trying to do something. Yeah, no, that for sure as like... I'm not even sure if you're currently in a position of like middle management, but if the boss isn't doing anything, you're certainly not going to listen to you, and that... I'm sorry, because I'm sure that affects your ability to do your work also. I was wondering about the Whirling in Rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
Seems like it's weird to set that up that way at all.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Sure, I'm listening.
Do I have more intercom questions?
I'm pretty sure it still does. Sure, I'm listening.
Maybe I had other questions.
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
What would it take to order a die from me?
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
For some reason, like, there's some really good options here, obviously. I can get something that relates to the stuff on the chalkboard. I can ask for a cursed die, or the most extraordinary die, the strongest of potions. I say I don't know. I really like option 5. I want, like, a normal guy, a die for a normal guy like me. I'm very regular. I'm just like a normal guy, just like an innocent guy who needs, like, an innocent die. Your system manager doesn't feel like it. You try to make changes. And they say, do it like we tell you. Yeah, that definitely sucks. But then when you shouldn't do anything, they say you aren't stepping up beyond the bare minimum. Yeah, like, maybe one of my, like, biggest pet peeves in life is, like, people, like, setting me up for failure and then being like, well, you failed. Which is, like, a thing that mostly happens in, like, corporate work-style settings and are along the lines of that, where they're like, well, you need to understand that basically you have no power over this situation, and then, like, later on they're like, how come you didn't accomplish anything? It's like, well, what did you expect? What kind of die do I want, in theory? I don't even know if I can afford this, or if I actually want this. I don't know what I would want a cursed die for, but for some reason it feels like it would be useful. I do feel like generally, if you know some kind of artist doing, like, custom bespoke work, like, taking an interest in, like, whatever creative thing that they want to do, i.e., like, tell me about your most extraordinary die, is, like, a good place to start. Okay, you can learn more about each of them before making a decision. Then we'll go down the list.
Ah, yes. Fortress accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Wiro Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motifs of ice and death. And loss, of course.
Do normal dice in this world have plants?
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice, and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours.
7, huh? 7's not a small number relative to my existence to date. Tell me about the standard.
It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results.
That's an interesting concept.
Maybe you have some other...
Cursed
What
die?
do you mean by cursed?
Abracadabra. Perished like this world. Not like cursed like this commercial area?
Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die.
That actually sounds great.
Maybe
but
you have some
I don't
other
have very much
ideas
money.
for dice?
What's the best one?
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
It's weird for you to not tell me how much more than 7.
Alright, maybe some other die then.
Just like a normal
A
die.
normal die? I'm a novelty dice maker. I don't make normal dice. Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Octahedrons, trapezohedrons, dodecahedrons. But also barrel dice and teetotum bowls.
That last one's not dice. That sounds like some kind of criminal act.
Come on now. Be a little creative.
What about something to help with work?
I think I have just the right one for you.
She opens the top drawer of her work desk and takes something out. 2 polyhedrons, red and blue.
Police colors.
Because I'm a police officer, yeah? Yeah?
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best. Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
I'm about to take some emotional damage, huh?
You overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do, and the 2 dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls from a broken string. The blue one disappears down the pit in the center of the room.
Ah, down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary.
I'll take the red die.
That one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was the inverse. They were a set, you see, but now the set is broken.
What was the result? That's a reasonable question. Can I still see that far back? Off by 2. I got 6.
It's a shame. They might have brought you luck. And you definitely need luck in Martinez.
Is she pitying you? Good God, she's pitying you.
I mean, I would too. No, that's not true. I literally do pity me.
Now, was there anything else?
Alright, I think that's finally everything. Allow me to fail yet another check.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Nah, I'll leave my clothes on for now. They're important for skill checks that I will fail later on.
She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief. The tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp.
That thing's all like blinking and stuff. Yeah, I kind of figured that would just be a sellable item. I don't know if it does anything. So, I go back down to the basement. Can I find the other die? Alright, check this right. No, I guess that's not where that's gonna lead, huh? That's gotta be somewhere else. Sad part is there's nothing one can do but just care a little less. That sounds like that meshes with my experience so far.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch
Still
black.
not really sure on why I can cover my hands in coal dust, but I feel like it might be useful to remember I can do that later. Let's go talk to a book lady, I guess. Spent really quite a lot of time here. This isn't what I would have guessed for this stream. I also wouldn't have guessed that my computer was going to try and, like, cause me to have a mental breakdown. So, you know, I guess I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. Did I explore all of the basement? I mean, I think so. I'm already here. I'm gonna talk to her.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
See, that's kind of what I thought at first, but I'm not sure that's true. I talked to the entity. Her name is Niha, and she makes dice.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
I mean, I think she's kind of just like a person. I don't know how I want this interaction to go. If I convince her that this woman is an evil entity, will it somehow benefit me? I feel like that would only be true if I could also get her out of the building. Which I'm not necessarily opposed to, I guess. I don't know how to answer this question. I just want to see how she responds, I guess, if I say she's just like a person.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. You've come this far. You know how to end it. There is an entity behind the entity.
Story says the taxidermist shops. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought void spirits down on this place. Definitely don't say I don't have an answer. Got it. So I guess that pretty much leaves this one. There's another entity more malignant pulling the strings in Martinez, and I will have to dig deeper into that.
A third order presence, yes.
A great dark relief washes over her.
I've heard of these triactors. In certain occult literature, that's too dark to dwell on for too long, and definitely not in public.
Gestures to remain silent.
I understand everything, sir. Thank you for your descending into the maelstrom. I will keep fort up here, strengthen the wards, do my best. And if you happen upon the third entity in your travels, may the Lord be with you.
She does like a gesture.
Well, this has been absolutely educational. If we happen on the third presence in our travels, we will certainly come back to tell you.
Yes, the venture continues in other waters.
Should we get out of here before the vortex collapses?
I think I took a close look at how much I goofed that door up. It occurs to me was the punching bag? Was it downstairs? I can't examine it further for drugs or whatever. Okay. I guess there's like a bunch of stuff I didn't do here. There's a hidden doorway. For some reason I was convinced that the bear was like the bottom edge of the room. Ice cream runner that's still ice cream
This
maker that's still
orange
running.
machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Can I have ice cream?
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I walked away from the hidden doorway because of ice cream. Did that require an explanation? I apologize. There was ice cream?
What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than some frozen fat and sugar?
Open
You
it?
slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
It feels like an unnecessary tutorial at hour, like, 30.
Equip the pry bar by going to...
No, like, I understand. Like, listen, I'm an idiot, but, like, I get that at this point. Grab some stuff first. Some money and medicine. That's good. It's like a door over here. Oh, hang on. A drama tank top, you say? That's a good get. Ah, so this is the front door then? Not entirely sure what I did to the door to make it openable, but that's good.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box.
Nope, not doing that right now. Totems are like dreidels. Oh, okay. I absolutely had no idea that's what that was called. Kind of a spinning top with flattened angles to show a result for, like, gambling games. Also, narwhal horns aren't a horn, they're an overgrown tooth. That I know. That much I definitely know. That's true. Also, hi, Dragon Garland. Welcome to the stream. As others in chat can attest, I'm really bad at this game, but I'm sure trying. I don't know how familiar you are with this game in particular, if you just happen to find me and know things about dreidels that I didn't know. Most of your rifles are hidden above the piping that look inoperable. Still feels like something I could take, but no, alas. Stuck some busted guns beneath the seal, but I already saw those. They're behind me. What's this then?
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
There's a snake in my boot. There's a hole in the wall. We learned the narwhal thing while reading about Teetotum games and thought it was interesting. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. I learned that fact because narwhals are sort of like a thing here on this channel. You can see, God, the lag is horrific. We've got big narwhal, we have small narwhal, we have narwhals in chat, and we even have... And we're back. Yeah, my computer was like having a fit before, so probably a little off sync, which is great. I'm definitely going to enjoy that later. I promise it hasn't been weighing heavily on me for like 2 hours. Nothing like that. There's a hole in the wall.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Yeah, that should be me. I'm the one who takes all the damage.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Rifles,
Are
Kim.
these any good?
Inspect
Most
them.
of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
This one is my gun, I guess.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What is this place?
Seems like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Well, I feel like that answers this unasked question of what does it mean a rifle here?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
That's cool. I don't know how useful that would be to me, considering I presume I don't have any ammunition for the gun that kind of doesn't work. Oh. It is a sellable item. It is not a tools. That's fine. I guess I should equip this. Actually, do I need to have both equipped in order to do this?
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Dragon says, perception failure. Did not notice the narwhal-themed page before posting the narwhal fun fact. But that just means that you shared the joy of a narwhal thing without even realizing the significance of it. I see no problem in this. I think it's great. Pry is not strong. Huh? It's weird that the game was, like, very specific about, like, you should go ahead and, like, equip that pry bar. Like, I promise it'll be great. And then I go over here and it's like, you idiot, this pry bar is not a good pry bar. Can't put dead bodies in that. Yeah, right? I wanted to make some, like, corpse ice cream. Physical instrument heroic. It doesn't feel like that should be a 3%er. I guess it's because the pry bar itself, like, it's like a super negative modifier. That's why. It's not that the check itself is that hard, it's because of the modifier. I mean, I don't want to, like, break the pry bar or something. Okay, Chad, I'm gonna ask a serious systems question in this game. I'm often looking to avoid spoilers unless I'm very clear about it. I don't think this would really be a spoiler. I'm gonna try and find that pawn shop now. Things that are listed as items. I honestly am very confused by this. I swear to God, when I came down here, it was like an edge that I couldn't go past. I'm, like, genuinely really confused about that. So if something is listed as, like, an item, as opposed to an interactable, a clothes, or a tools, does it have a function I need to care about, other, like, excluding the possibility of some puzzle that might specifically want that item? Like, is it the case that I could basically sell any of these, and there's maybe a slim chance that some of these might do something very specific? I mean, like this, for example, obviously proves that, like, some items can have, like, another in-game purpose. But, like, roughly speaking, the majority of these are just, like, yeah, like postcards and stuff. Okay. So I assume the cassette case is cool to sell. I feel like I should hold on to the gun. I feel like I'm gonna sell this shot put ball, because then I'll have enough to, like, sleep tonight. Oh, really? Everything else has an alternative purpose. Okay, that's maybe worth knowing. Can I have some garbage? Electrochemistry gloves, but I hate it. Water lock out of order until Wednesday at 7:15. I suppose this is the pawn shop. There's a few things in the pawn shop. Anti-cash register. Mostly military wear with some eccentric fashions. Bust of a woman that says DEI. Film projector.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
And use it to win her back? What do you mean by that?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine.
I'm sure this hypothetical woman who seems to have dumped us would love a toy soldier. Let me interface real quick. I'm pretty sure the only interfacing thing I have is the gloves that I've been wearing my entire life.
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys.
I'm just like, I can't, like, if you've joined recently, I just can't explain to you how good I am at, like, losing coin flips. This extends beyond this game. This is not a complaint specific to this game, but rather an incredible supernatural ability I have that very specifically isn't helpful. Yeah, there's kind of a lot of stuff here. I don't know if you know this.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Tiptoes, look at the boxes.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Tell me about this thing,
It's a
Shopkeep.
Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
Are you sure it works?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech. Found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
Will this help me do police stuff?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Police tapes or other tapes. It does both.
Like a beach party. With sand and sun and seagulls dancing on the breeze.
Kim, theoretically, could I bring this to a beach party?
Theoretically, yes. But we don't have time right now. It's generally murder investigation first, then beach party.
Yeah, fair enough.
That is the unofficial RCM motto, yes.
Let's leave this. Just like a... Oh, that's the guy. For some reason, I thought the guy was over here. It's just like a whole man.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Is that a streetlight?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
Where did you get a streetlight?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Alright, let me observe it.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
How much would it cost to buy this?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Even taking into account the risk of obtaining it, that seems kind of steep.
There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Okay, that's cool. I definitely don't have $700. Clothes?
Wow. A very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. The print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers.
What did you say to me?
Is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hjelmdal burning.
Chat. Sniff the shirt.
Smells like worn cotton and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy.
That's true. That's definitely true.
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about?
It's a pretty good shirt.
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed tees, but this one was just pure exemplar.
It turns out that I'm a pretty big fan of the man from Hjelmdal too.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a fan, but I do think the Hjelmdalaman saga is an integral part of our shared reality.
I've always said that myself.
Most people don't think that the man from Hjelmdal really existed, but they're wrong.
Go on.
I mean, even if the man from Hjelmdal didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he has. It's simple, really.
Theros rules. Like to keep your photon emissions to yourself. I mean, that should just be on the front door. I mean, that's just a reasonable expectation to have as a pawn shop owner, I think.
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of cause and effect.
Now, this type of weirdness I approve of greatly. Like weird, almost like conspiracy-style conceptions of reality. Like, this is all very, like, Uchikoshi from, like, 999 and Somnium Files and stuff. Like, this type of character I'm into. I could definitely do with fewer, like, openly racist characters. Again, I feel like I generally understand the point they're going for, but I still kind of hate it.
Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Hjelmdal, and watched northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there.
Very, very unique energies, indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say. Stop talking about this nerd stuff. It will make you weedy. Buy the damn shirt already. It's powerful.
It's powerful. What's it cost?
2 real.
2 real?
That's dirt cheap.
As someone who has, like, high persuasive aligned skills, part of me feels like I should try and haggle this, despite the fact that I can actually afford that. It strikes me as peculiar that there's no immediate option to just say 2 real and then immediately buy it.
But why?
I don't know where I'm going with this.
I deal in goods, not services.
Fair enough. The shirt gives -2 authority. I literally don't understand why. I mean, I need to possess this. I'm confused because I feel like I'd be wearing a graphic tee, right, but I'd be wearing a graphic tee that has the man from Heimdall on it. How would that not increase my authority? Is my question. I don't understand your argument, Sarah. Like, you keep saying these words, like you're a cop wearing a graphic tee, and I'm like, right, I'm a human wearing a man from Heimdall shirt. I feel like it should double my current authority score. I feel like it should be a power move flex to be a cop walking around and representing his spiritual connection to the man from Heimdall. I mean, I'm gonna buy it.
Welcome to Heimdall, officer.
Now, the problem is, like, I actually really like authority. Like, this is a genuine problem. I gotta get some, like, glasses that aren't upsetting. I'm not understanding any of your arguments here. I also lose out on physical instrument by taking off my aggressive tank top. Oh, that's interesting. It actually says that the -2 authority is because I'm too old for the shirt. It's not literally a police officer wearing a graphic tee. It's that I am too old for it. Oh, wait, it actually gives physical, so it's like neutral on physical instrument. Oh, okay. But then all it does is give me +1 shivers in exchange for -2 authority, which is rough. Yeah, I probably should go check for glasses at Ceiling. I'll put the flashlight away. As funny as it is to have it out all the time, it's starting to annoy me. Did I have some purpose before I came in here? Was that the only thing I could... That's the only article of clothing in that whole bin? Yeah, right? That's totally ageist. This is a guy wearing a Rescue Rangers t-shirt on a live stream that he's, like, too old to be doing. So that's the soldiers, the speakers, the lamp, and the guy. I guess I could talk to the guy.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Sorry if I'm interrupting.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately. RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake. People who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Honestly, I think some of your selections are more tasteful than others. I mean, I'm really inclined to say typical vacuous consumerist objects for two reasons. One, because I'm currently a socialist, which so far has not done me any good at all, as far as I've been able to notice or measure. And two, because I think it's really funny to say that after spending $2 to buy a graphic tee of the man from Heimdall.
It keeps me entertained.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what?
I'm not a big fan of electrochemistry, but I might get experience for figuring out what he's high on.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
I don't know what that is.
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I don't really want to do any of these. Is it warm?
I tried to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
Oh my god. I'm starting to have regrets. Hey, what's with your triangles, guy?
I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster. Had to take Pyrrolidon for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it?
He's taking it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
I feel like it's rude to ask him to relive this trauma. Must have been tough.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
Definitely should have answered or asked those other questions first. Whose fault was it that some generator failed?
No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
That mostly paints that picture for me. How'd you end up here?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forberg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
I think this is still technically a subset of the electrochemistry thing I was doing, so I guess I should probably ask these. There might be experience lurking around here.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
Yeah, probably.
We were an all-volunteer force. Self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a red drop of blood.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. Didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick. I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my
man. Do you happen to have guns like the one that I lost? I mean, I didn't lose at all, I promise.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Well, everything about that sentence is very bad and troubling.
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
Huh, so I, sold you my gun, huh?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions, the unhealthy kind.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
I mean, there's probably a good reason for that, but I've never shied away from taking unnecessary damage in this game before.
You weren't quite yourself, officer.
What was I like?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
How much did I sell it for?
15 real.
Awesome.
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy, and then back to you. It's clear that he hopes this tableau might still turn out to be a bad dream. It's not, though. This has got to be the most wow.
It does have to be the most wow.
There's pity there, too, in case you didn't notice.
I'm really sorry that happened. Mostly for myself, but also for all of us.
No apologies necessary, officer.
Was the buyer a policeman?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
That doesn't... Is that Kuno's friend? Like, who else?
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
I mean, apparently. Keep up, Kim.
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
I'm sorry that I sold my gun.
Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow, while also keeping our focus on the murder investigation.
This mess, he means your mess.
Any idea where I can find that person?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in time.
Did Everard try to track it down?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
At least now I know I sold it. That's cool.
Of course.
Maybe you can aid the investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
How about that hanging?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
Guess I'm good for now.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
I want to sell something.
Let me have a look.
Oh my god, don't sell the... Don't sell the photo. Makes me anxious that that's even an option.
Anything
Pockets.
else you're thinking of selling?
I mean, postcard. Pawn. Postcard. Pawn. This one's also a postcard, isn't it? On that, I guess. I definitely feel like I need the rifle, and I want to hold on to the production schedule for now. I feel like there will come a time when I can definitely get rid of that. Part of me wonders if this ape pen will be useful for anything other than helping to pass that pointless skill check. Yeah, I haven't come across any bottles recently. I cleared them out from a lot of the places I've been to. Just trying to think if I want to get rid of anything here. I mean, kind of just the fact that I could buy something to play cassettes makes me wonder if I should keep this stupid empty cassette tape. It's also not worth very much. Alright, how do I end this? How do I stop doing this? Close? Yeah, I mean, we're still not at 20. I feel like we could probably find another, like, $5 before the end of the day. Do you only see tear if you have the bag equipped? I thought you could only pick it up if you had it equipped. I'm pretty sure I was able to see stuff before I had the bag.
Another time, perhaps.
Hang on, I'm having a thought.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
What? There's Copo types?
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Some type of weapon cop?
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
What are the other Capo types?
Oh, you know. Apocalypse, Superstellar, the Advanced Interesting Cop, Liquid Shadow Cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go?
Won't the other Capo types be jealous?
What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry.
That's a really good line read. Jealous of the sorry cop? So, like... Typically, these thoughts, I'm inclined to say that you should kind of yes and all of them and just decide later if you're going to equip them. This kind of sounds like if I do this, I, like, lock out some other thing, right? Is it, like, too late for me to, like, wait out and see if I get something else? I don't know what I expect Sorry Cop to do. I don't think it'll tell me if I don't take it. Oh, you can multi-Capo type? That's good to know. So in that case, I should probably just say yes to add it to the list of things I can theoretically do? Is that about right? I do like that the opt-in is to say I'm sorry. That does sound correct. That sounds like that sideway. Well, like, but I don't know if I want it or not because it doesn't actually give me a description of it. It doesn't sound like it's particularly useful. I imagine I've triggered this by trying to be apologetic to Kim, which is mostly a function of the fact that all of the things that happened before the start of the game that are beyond my control are deeply upsetting to him, and I am sorry that he has to deal with it. Do I think my character is maybe sorry cop inclined? Like, no, I would say no. Like, generally, I would say no. I don't feel like I could be an authority cop because I have -2 to authority. You know, like, I don't know what the capo types are. I'm not saying that someone should tell me them. It's just, like, it's hard to make that decision in a vacuum. I do feel like I'm, like, what I'm trying to be is closer to, like, a vigilante cop. ended up incidentally putting a lot of points in like physical instrument, and like a lot of the checks that I've been trying to pass are like beating up people who don't respond to my authority. So like I'm pretty messed up is the short version of that. Which like feels like is pretty directly opposed to being sorry cop. It frankly feels weird to me that this would be like a thing that would happen.
No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
No, I'm not sorry.
Wow. Okay. Fuck off. Maybe we were wrong about you then.
Okay, everything in the game is hostile all the time. That's pretty much expected at this point. I'll check this. If I re-equip Bag's tool. Oh, you're right. It exists, but it doesn't highlight, which is the main way that I know it exists. Yeah, we could go to ceiling and see if we can get glasses or something. I don't remember which of these is glasses. I want to say it's the bottom
on
one.
these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Okay, apparently it has not been long enough to do that. So I guess I can't... Oh no, rummage? Rummage again? No, what didn't
These are all...
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium...
No, rummage doesn't do anything. I need the skill check to unlock. Can I have this? Okay, hold on. We're probably pretty close to done. I'm gonna go back in the horrible basement of Cursed Darkness and see how many bottles there are. A different one unlocked? What was the check that unlocked? A rhetoric challenge? What would that have been? To like name the power of the shoes or something? To ask him for... I don't think I actually asked him for money. I don't think I like got around to trying that. It was kind of on my to-do list for today. We could try to do that before the end of the stream. I feel like there should be like garbage here. So I just want to check that now that I have a... Oh, hang on. Now I have a better understanding of how Bag works. It was not clear to me that like Bag needed to be equipped to do that. It's genuinely pretty shocking that there's no garbage here. It's fine. Just a pathway. I mean, I don't think I checked everything, but I feel like I should have been able to see everything, other than, like, where What's-Her-Face is at with the dice. I guess maybe there could be something up there. It seems not super likely. Yeah, that's weird. In the basement? Did I? Is there something like further, like here? Or here? I don't get the impression that there's like another way out of secret room. I don't think so. Loose money. Loose money. I don't know what that check would be that reset with ceiling. Because, like, I'm really pretty sure I didn't actually ask him for money. Did I? And just forget about it? I really thought I didn't.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
No, I must have asked him. I apparently have slightly better odds. Give me money?
No need to dress this one up. Just tell him what you want.
I want your money.
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
I don't know, it's just the only thing I could come up with. I really need money.
Ah, yes. Money is very important.
Are you trying to ask for a bribe? If so, you're not doing a very good job.
Sorry, detective.
Curses. Anything else on the map I need to care about for, like, right now? I don't think I want to try the Tommy Laham check again. The success case is that I do, like, rap lyrics. And the fail case is that I take emotional damage. Much deserved emotional damage. It looks like I can try the logic check with Kim that I will definitely fail at.
Yes?
Roy mentioned suicide? Which person is Roy? I honestly don't remember who Roy is. Let's try to remember why we're here. This will not succeed.
You pick over what's left of your frontal cortex, but no compelling explanations emerge.
Oh, the pawn shop guy. I don't think I noticed his name. That's on me. Yeah, okay. I'll leave the ambient rain sounds. As long as the computer doesn't start to crash again. I don't know. It's been another installment of, like, productive unproductivity, which I guess is pretty normal. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I continue to have some mixed feelings. Like, I don't know. It's funny, Comify had suggested earlier that, like, I haven't had positive experiences from failed states because, like, I haven't played the game that much. This is, like, I feel like I'm, like, 18 hours in or something. It's just, like, an interesting way to conceive of not very much time in a game. Not necessarily trying to argue the point. I just feel like if you said that about most games, people would probably, like, raise an eyebrow at you, right? We did... I mean, we got to see behind the curtain. We were planning on becoming a force of destruction. Our stats are all messed up. We'll never accomplish another check ever again. That's a future problem, I guess. Yeah, I'm super mad about the technical thing. I don't mind a technical problem that's my own doing and I can fix it. I get really annoyed about a technical problem that's beyond my control. And, like, literally a week ago, like, my internet service provider crapped out completely, which was very frustrating. And it's been a really bad week, and I'm just pretty mad about that in general. But yeah, I'd say we're at the conclusion of the stream, which means that there's one final order of business before we wrap things up, which is to locate the secret Squirtle. Now, you may have noticed at some point that there's an army of stuffed animals behind me. And part of the reason is to fill out this image to look a little more interesting. Part of it is to demonstrate that I'm a sociopathic millennial. And tertiarily, it's because somewhere on this couch I've hidden a secret Squirtle. That means that under or behind something that you can see is a Squirtle. And if you're able to find that Squirtle, then it will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. So I encourage you to consider where the Squirtle might be hiding and see if you can earn yourself some of that good luck. And then maybe pass your own 42% skill check in real life. While you take a moment to consider that because of the incredibly frustrating lag that has been generated by OBS. And enjoy some of this 100% juice apple, legally distinct from apple juice in some way that should concern me but doesn't. Alright. Let's see, we got behind our recently added sea monster. Behind Concerned Loaf. Any other guesses before we wrap things up? Our sorted Pokeballs. Let's go take a look and see if we can find that Squirtle. Joints. Very old. Let's go in the order that makes the most sense structurally speaking. So we'll start at one side. We got ourselves our pterodactyl friend hanging out on top of Concerned Loaf. Hiding any secrets back there? Well, we got something. It's not a secret Squirtle, but it is a secret cat living inside a donut. Which is, like, pretty good. Behind the Pokeball is probably the next least likely thing to invoke complete chaos. Nothing hiding back there. Mostly just a means to prop up my tiny crabs. Otherwise, they're very small. How would you see them? I don't know. Because you have binocular vision? And then I guess behind our recently added sea monster friend. Not a Squirtle, but another sea friend who doesn't want to balance in my single hand. That's our dolphin friend Perry, right? I don't know why I'm completely unable to hold this. Yeah, Perry. Pikachu. Well, Pikachu is a new friend. Wasn't anything directly behind Pikachu, but to further establish our narwhal theming, you see our gentleman narwhal, who has, if it'll pick it up, a little monocle on. But again, not the Squirtle. And that is because our secret Squirtle is very sneakily hiding behind our donut-eating dragon friend. That is the location of the secret Squirtle. And also a choice that I made to remind myself to show off those donuts that I forgot about. So I'm glad that I did that. Behold. Donuts. It's gonna be really hard to, like, display this without, like, causing a mess. But so, like, it has... So this caught my attention because it's, like, a weird... Normally the Krispy Kreme boxes are all just, like, green. It's their branding. But this one was, like, blue. And I was like, why? And it's because it has special cookie donuts. So there's two kinds. I think this one's really cute. It just has some tiny cookies on it. And it's filled with, like, cookie cream. Which I think is legally distinct from... What's the name of the cookie butter that exists? And then there's also these ones that are much more inclined to make a mess. So I'm gonna try and be careful with it. But, like, it's literally like a donut that someone crushed a whole cookie on and then put some, like, non-branded M&M bits on. How long do donuts last before they're unsafe to eat? I don't know about unsafe to eat. I thought cookie butter had, like, a special name, didn't it? Like, some kind of, like, Dutch-sounding name or something? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, typically, I feel like your concern with donuts is that they go stale before they're, like, genuinely unsafe. I feel like somewhere between, like, 5 and 7 days is probably, like, the max range. Do I have a favorite of just donuts in general, or of these? Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to think that generally there's probably enough sugar in it that it, like, probably doesn't spoil in the way you might expect a baked good to spoil, necessarily. I mean, of these ones, I definitely think the one with, like, entire small cookies on it is best. It's the thing that inspired me to actually get these. I will say, I think it's local to only California, where I live. But there's a place called Randy's Donuts, and they have like a cherry, like, icing donut that's better than it sounds, even if you think it sounds good. I got one on sort of like a whim and was like, I'm sure this will be horrible. And then it was like my favorite one that they make. So, like, there's that. For demonstrational purposes, I'll try a little bit of this guy. I don't know if it'll be any good, but you'll know if I die. My first bite is mostly standard donut, so I gotta get in a little further to try the weird cookie dough cream. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of just like a sugary cookie mess. And I know that sounds bad. It's just that it's kind of indistinct. It's just kind of like sugary. It's not bad. It's maybe not as good as I would have hoped, but it's, you know, it's like a donut. So, like, yeah, I got some of the cookie on that one. I was expecting it to be, like, a little crunchy, but they must have, like, baked the donut with it on top, so it got, like, softened the way that happens. So, like, it kind of all just, like, blends into one soft texture that, like, kind of just has more sugar in the sugar. Based on initial impression, I'd probably give that, like, a B-. Can't wait for October. I mean, like, the holiday-themed donuts are always most fun. I was just very interested in this. I don't regret the purchase. It just doesn't stand out as, like, a, ooh, like, all-time favorite. I'm sure that we'll have some fun stuff in October. Almost without a doubt, we will have some fancy donuts and do our usual trick and treat redemptions. But yeah, I'll probably finish that donut and make a whole mess, and rather than subject you to watching and listening to that, I will end things here and begin the extremely unpleasant and miserable experience of trying to edit this stream into something watchable for YouTube. Yeah. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening, such as it is, and your weekend. I'll be back next Friday with more Murder by Numbers, and next Saturday with more Disco Elysium, which for some reason I always have to think of the name of it. And in the meantime, thanks to everybody for watching, thanks for being here, thanks for being you, and I hope to see you all again soon. Whether that's next week or some point in the future. I hope you all stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember that you are Claus.